Welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. NumberNine.
And this is the Fool.
This is where me and the Fool give our
Unqualified and unrequested
ramblings on the various issues in the world of sport.
or something like that.
Hello everyone, this is the second to last World Cup related podcast we're going to be doing for 2026.
Yeah, woo! We do need to decide when the last one's actually officially going to be, but yes. Spoilers, I guess, for everybody else. There will be one more World Cup related podcast at some point, potentially in 2026.
And just to clarify, we mean the FIFA Men's Football World Cup, not the Women's World Cup. Congratulations to the Australian women's cricket team. You get your trophy back.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, that trophy belongs to the Australian women's cricket team.
100%, yeah. That is their trophy, really. In a way that even the late 90s, early 2000s Australian men's team couldn't own that trophy.
Absolutely. And before we go too deep into it, a shout out to Lise Perry. What a legend.
Yeah.
Wins another World Cup, puts in another shift for Australia. Just how good is she?
Yeah, it's amazing that, just, I don't know, pulls it out every time. And
the GOAT.
The GOAT.
No question, the GOAT of women's cricket.
Yeah, 100%.
Moving on to the less important men's World Cup, passe people who only care about men's sports.
Passe.
What a podcast we've become.
Yeah. Disappointed in ourselves.
We just have to feed the algorithm, guys. We just have to. In order to talk about our niche interests.
Yeah, this one's for the algorithm. That's it.
And then, so we've just watched the biggest World Cup there's ever been.
Yeah. And
potentially there will be, or won't be. Who knows? We'll see. We have come with a victory for La Roja in the finals.
Yeah.
I think absolutely well-deserved. Well, just like Spain put in a smothering defensive performance. Argentina, until the 80th minute, i.e. till Spain scored, had only one shot. Not shot on goal.
Shot. The 110th minute, by the way.
Yeah, 110th minute. But basically, until Spain scored, they only had one shot.
Yeah, and it wasn't even I think it wasn't even... it must have only just been before that, because I'm pretty sure through the 90 they had 0 shots on target. 0 shots and 0 shots on target. So only in extra time, the first half of extra time, did they even get something remotely near the goal enough to make it count as a shot.
I know we had our discussions about it. You thought the Argentines had a very good masterclass in defense. I respectfully disagree because I think it was overly reliant on Emi Hernandez pulling out the game of his life. Absolute, man of the match of the finals still for me, even though Argentina lost.
Yeah.
Sorry, Emi Martinez, obviously... a genuine dickhead of a person, but a great goalkeeper.
Look, what's a little shithousery between friends? I mean, really.
Bit of shithousery on the field, I don't mind, but, this is Argentina we're talking about.
Yeah, I tried to... Well, I was talking to a workmate the other day, and the fact that I very much split, especially with the current Argentinian team, split their off-field... everything with just during the 90 minutes is a bit of shithousery and it's fine and we'll support them then, but everything outside of that is that's probably all a little bit too far, by about 10 or 20 kilometers.
Yeah. We can't question how good a goalkeeper he is, especially when he is representing the blue and whites, and he has pulled out the performance of his life. Like Lamine Yamal's goal, how did he even save that? Like that last second free kick.
Oh yeah.
It's like, and he had an incredible performance. Like, I felt at some point the Argentinian players were more involved in shithousery for the sake of shithousery rather than actually being smart shithousery.
Yeah.
Like, you and I had this conversation, the Marco Materazzi school of shithousery. Because for whatever else, I don't think he's actually the best ever at shithousery, but he's got the rep now, right? Because of the 2006 World Cup Final.
Yeah.
The match-winning play that won Italy the World Cup that year. But that Italy team defended smart, right? Like they passed, they tactically fouled, but they made sure different people fouled at each time. And like when you know that's your game plan, Enzo Fernandez, like another dickhead, basically gets a yellow for dissent, like a completely deserved yellow for dissent.
You should have kicked it.
At which point it's like, okay, you either need to take him off or he's gonna get another yellow. Like everybody could see that coming.
Yeah.
And he couldn't hold himself back, and like the second yellow was even worse because it was an unnecessary tackle.
Yeah, he probably wasn't getting into it. It looked, I think he was. I don't know the right word. I'm going to use justified, but justified is the wrong word. I can see where his pleading was coming from. In that one, he wasn't. In other tackles, he was like, but other tackles, I was actually trying to be a dickhead. This one, I was going for the ball. And he tried to pull out, but it's like, yeah, you were never getting to the ball. I know you had a lot of commitment, and that helped get close, but you should have never really been going for that ball. Like, you had no right getting to it. So, the fact you got as close as you did, well done for the commitment, but that's what the yellow card was for. So, next time, don't.
Commitment doesn't get you out of cards. Otherwise, Paul Scholes would be the cleanest player in Premier League history.
Exactly.
And, and it's clear, like, it went to their heads because you saw their behavior after the game, right? They'd clearly lost. And it's obvious why they lost their head. It's because Spain just shrugged it off.
Yeah.
Like this,
100%,
Argentina, I don't think Argentina would have been able to beat France if France had beaten Spain and gotten to the finals either, because France had shown they know how to deal with shithousery. They just laugh at you.
Yeah, exactly.
You shithouse and they go, yeah, okay.
Cool story, bro.
Cool story, bro. Pretty much, and like look at gives a look to the where like, can you believe this guy? Bugs Bunny looking at you in the camera. This guy. And like that's how they look at the ref, and the refs can't help but like laugh as well. Like I'm meant to be unbiased, but
yeah, this is too funny now.
And like both Spain and France know how to deal with, like, Spain has their own, like, and Spain are better at dark arts than Argentina are, as they've shown. They know how to do tactical fouling properly because they do it with like strategy, and like there's a rationality behind how they do this because they're more than familiar with it. Guardiola's introduced it into Manchester City's DNA. It's how they become good at protecting leads and being, why they've won so many championships.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think Argentina got a little bit too involved with the whole storyline of how they were getting gifted it, and so they were feeling a bit defensive about it and everybody against them. And then the whole England match was just like, I mean, the Egypt match was just as bad at the end, and then the entire English match was just like, yeah, you thought maybe it was okay. It was like, you got that out of your system, but no, showed that they were buying into just a lot of stuff they probably shouldn't have. But such as it is, they still made it to the final though, so some things went right, but
yeah, and they were good for getting into the finals, right? Every team has had their luck. Like Spain drew their first game, right? They haven't had a perfect World Cup. No. Though, to be fair, to a team that everybody now respects in Cabo Verde.
Yeah. Well, see,
And
Cabo Verde, was it they didn't lose during the 90 minutes throughout the entire
yes,
thing. So, like, they lost to Argentina in the knockout in the round of 32, but that required extra time. That was 2-2 at the 2-2 at the end of regular
yes.
time.
And they could have been 2-0.
Yeah.
Right? It took two incredible, absolutely incredible things to get past Vozinha, who was like arguably, I know he didn't win goalkeeper of the tournament, was probably, in my opinion, actually the goalkeeper of the tournament.
Yeah. No, he definitely was very, very good. Amazing. So, yeah.
Because, like, sure, Simon only conceded one goal, very worthy winner of the Golden Glove.
Yeah.
No quarrel with that, absolutely. But, you know, how many times has he actually been tested? Because Spain was so good defensively as a team.
Exactly.
And
So-
that mid-block,
Yeah.
like... And Spain are the only team in international football that can play a mid-block because everybody in the team knows how to do it.
It was 47 shots, by the way, over the whole tournament. That was how many shots, just in general at the Spain goal. It's not even on target. It was 5.8 per match and 0.3 xG per match, which is not particularly high.
Yeah.
Average is 1.5 xG and 12.5 shots per game. Yeah. And they also, they kept Messi and Mbappe to 4 shots total across, was it 210 minutes, like 2 games of extra time. So.
But at least in that France game, you saw bits where at least Mbappe then tried to go in deep and get the ball because he was just not getting service because that mid-block was countering France's midfield and keeping the thing away. Because Mbappe at least tried to put France on his back and do that. Whereas, like, Argentina, once the supply stopped going to Messi, Messi's no longer in the age where he can tap back. So I'm not, this is not a dig at him, but, you know, he doesn't get supply, he's not going to do anything for you.
No.
He's not a striker who can create things on his own anymore.
That said, I think we saw him like 2-3 times, like actually back next to his defensive penalty area, like actually tracking back and making defensive tackles. I was like, whoa, look at him, Messi, defending. Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing where, like, I know it's probably going to get lost in the thing, but it's, as a person who is a Messi fan, it's a bit disappointing that he tried to get Cucurella sent off when Cucurella literally put his mouth on his finger on his mouth just to be like, shut the fuck up to Enzo.
Yeah,
like, it was clearly what he was saying.
Yeah. Just like,
because nobody tries to hide what they're saying by only putting 2 fingers on their mouth. That's not covering your mouth.
No. I know. I think the final just got to all the Argentinians, but and that was just very much Cucurella going to Enzo. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. What the fuck? What is even this? Like,
telling them to shut up, right? Like, you're just covering them. Be quiet.
Quiet.
Yeah, and like, and I think Cucurella had a great game because he was getting harassed.
Yeah.
But he was, like, also drawing the harassment, like, really well and somehow not getting carded. And, like, not even, like, somehow not getting carded, like, not deserving a card either in that game.
Yeah.
Because, like, he played it exactly right. He got the ball, he recovered a lot of attacks, and, like, Spain's wingbacks, like Cucurella, Porro, they just play like wingers, right? They, on a dime, just become wingers. They don't even think about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, like, it's very easy because, like, there's so many parts of the game where I'm just like, oh, Olmo just gets the ball on the half turn, has an Argentinian, and not even take a second, like, half a second does a touch that's a pass to Ruiz. And you're like, the Spain team are just so good.
Yeah, they are.
And, like, perfectly, like, Ruiz is just behind him. He's not even looking. And he's just like, Spain are just so good.
Yeah. There was a lot to be said about that Spain team in terms of, say, just the way they gelled. They knew exactly where they needed to be at all times, where each other was. You know, there was no thinking. They didn't need to look. They knew where each other was. It was just poetry.
Yeah, and as because obviously Haaland is not in the finals, Yara switched her full allegiance to Spain because of Rodri.
Yeah.
And it's Rodri, I know he gets lost because every other game he's not been man of the match because obviously fans vote, but it's obvious when you watch any Spain game, like, God, Rodri is so good.
Yeah, no,
like
amazing.
This is peak Rodri again. How good is Rodri?
Yeah. It's
and
nice watching him play, right? You just sit there and if you spend a while just watching, you're like, look at that guy. Look, he knows what he's doing. He's really good.
And because Yara was watching him play, and she's always been like, he's not really that into football. She's always been like, I know Rodri's good, and everybody said he was the best player in the world. Like, I don't really get it. He doesn't score goals, and he's not Haaland. And I'm like, yeah, fair. Like, that's 8-year-old logic, right? Like, that makes sense.
That's fair.
8 or 9-year-old logic. And she was watching. We were watching the final.
You can't argue with it, right? He doesn't score goals, and he's not Haaland. Those are both very true facts.
Absolutely. Undeniable facts.
Exactly.
Then she was watching him play. She's just like, wow, he's so good.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. Like, how good is Rodri? And I know, like, a United fan, obviously don't like City, but there's just certain players in that dynastic City team which I just can't hate. Like, Rodri is one of them. He's just so good. Kevin De Bruyne is one of them. Like, just can't hate him. He's so good.
I try every now and then, but I mean, it was us that let him go, so.
But he's not a shithouser. He tried his best for Chelsea. They didn't rate him, so it's not like he wanted away.
You know, so it's not his fault at all, but I can still feel sad about it. He was with us. He left us.
And he always plays his hardest. And David Silva back in the day, those guys are too good.
Yes.
Like, just shows up, plays amazing, doesn't talk to the media. You don't hear anything about him. Like, you just know he's a good player if you watch football. Like, you know, you don't even realize how good he is if you're not really into football, right? Like, he's just about football fan famous.
Yes.
But he's like one of the best midfielders the Premier League has ever seen. To anybody who actually really watches football, right? And like, very easy to see why Rodri's a good player if you watch football all the time. And but even if you look at the box score, you'll see like, oh yeah, Rodri gets all these plaudits. He so many passes in a game, so many tackles, right? Yeah. Same with like Kevin De Bruyne, so many shots, so many goals. And then you're like, David Silva, he doesn't even get assists. He's supposed to be a winger. Like, bro, watch him play. Yeah, just watch him play. He is so good.
Exactly. Like, just watch. You'll understand. He's amazing.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like explaining the difference, like a modern day rugby fan, when they're like, surely Jerry Collins is your best All Blacks number 6. I'm like, no. The best All Blacks number 6 is also the best All Blacks number 7. It's Michael Jones. just take my word for it.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, you don't get why Michael Jones at 6 is so good, and then when we watched him play, we're like, damn, he's so good at 6. How? He was like the best in the world at 7.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You don't want to play him at 6, you want to play him at 7. But,
you could put him at 6 in an all-time All-Black team as a flex if you really wanted Richie McCaw, but if you're doing that, you may as well get Josh Kronfeld, the guy who actually replaced him at 7.
Yeah. I think if you're putting Michael Jones at 6, you have to have McCaw at 7.
Oh, you rate McCaw above Kronfeld?
Yeah.
I think McCaw has a better understanding of the modern rule set. I think Josh Kronfeld is the better player in any era. Like, he could fit into any team.
I see what you mean, yeah. I guess that depends a little bit, right? Like, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, McCaw, just the fact that McCaw has that amazing understanding of the modern game, it's like, can't not have him there doing his thing, and like, yeah.
He's the ref whisperer. But,
Exactly.
without getting too deep into rugby, that shouldn't be a skill set.
But it is, right? Like, you can't not have that skill set in your team. Like, if you've got him right there, and he gives that whole extra dimension, it's like, how can you not have him there?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I would just be like, yep. But I just have Michael Jones at 7. You can just keep Jerry Collins at 6.
Yeah.
Have Zinzan Brook. Have Kieran Reid at 8. He can be captain. He's enough of a Reid. He's enough of a ref whisperer.
Not Sean Fitzpatrick is your hooker and captain?
Dan Coles is just too good.
Yeah, I mean, either or for me. Like, I'm fine. Like, your way of doing it also works. And I'm like, yeah, I see how it all works.
Like, I hate not having Zinzan Brook.
Yeah, I would have Zinny at 8.
He's a Westie legend, of course. But I sit there going, like, Kieran Reid is too good. He can do too many things.
Yeah, which is fair. But I think I would still take Zinny and Fitzpatrick over Coles and Reid, really. But I'm not going to argue against it.
Oh, neither of us are putting Christian Cullen at centre, right? New Zealand Rugby's original sin.
That is the original sin. Like, rescind any All Blacks coaching degrees you may have or certifications you may have. That's it. It's done.
That was the original sin, and then John Mitchell did the unforgivable by dropping him.
Yeah. It's just black times, dark times.
Though, I think in my all-time All Black team, I would pick the fullback version of Mills Muliaina over Cullen.
Ooh. That's an interesting choice.
Just because of his defensive stability and back leadership.
I'm like, oh, that is actually a
Though I
choice.
do think Mills is better at center.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
His distribution is so good.
Yeah. We may be getting a little off topic though.
Yes. Could you tell the All Blacks are winning at rugby again?
Who would have thought it?
This is what makes sense, World Rugby. New Zealand winning games. Now I understand the game and the rules, I think. This is what's understandable to the casual rugby fans. All Blacks win.
Yeah. Nice and straightforward.
Exactly.
Back to the World Cup. See Mbappe now top goal scorer after the brace in the fourth game.
Yep. And he's good for it. Look, I think we have to shout out, I know Lamine Yamal hasn't had the best tournament, but he's the youngest player to complete the Euros and World Cup double, or like Continental and World Cup double.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
And he was best player, one of the best players in the team in the Euro 2024.
Yeah, exactly. And this time, like, he came in under a bit of an injury cloud, right? So, coming back from an injury.
And I think he still played his role really well. He was drawing so much attacking.
Oh, he'd get the ball and there'd be three, like through pretty much all the knockout games, right? He'd get the ball and there'd be like 3 defenders instantly on him. So that's 3 defenders not somewhere else. So, and he was still able to move the ball and get it to another. He wasn't losing the ball that often. He was getting it, drawing 3 defenders, and the ball was then moved on to someone else. So those 3 defenders are then out of position, right? So he was being a good team man, basically.
Absolutely, and I think also if they had Nico Williams as well, that threat from Spain goes. Yeah. It's almost 10 times more effective because it showed, right? Like once they got Nico Williams on, and it was obvious that he was fit enough to play for at least half an hour.
Yeah.
Like he changed Spain's attack even more. It became even more deadly.
Yeah.
He should have had a goal. Absolutely crazy that goal was disallowed.
Yeah.
And he kept it. And because they can't ignore Lamine, they have to, Nico Williams got that space and he took full advantage of it, and he created the assist for Ferran Torres as well.
Yeah. He got the assist for the actual goal. Yeah. Because
also, like, he tried to do a trick to get. That was so bad.
That was so funny.
Like that moment he tried to do a flick pass or to himself to try and trick Emi Martinez and scored the goal. Like he should have just scored from there. Like if Emi did an amazing save, it's like fine. Emi did an amazing save. What happened? That happens. But you're just like, what was this? Because this is like what happens when you tried that, and then now Argentina's gonna score, and everybody's gonna be like, Nico, you've lost the.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
Yeah, no. It was a bit lucky on that, but yeah.
But he provided that impetus for Spain. This Spain team is scary, scary good. Look how young their team are. Like, if we look at that final team, if I look at the age, Pedro Porro's 26, Kubasi, young player of the tournament, 19.
Wow.
Cucurella, 27. Rodri's only 30.
Yeah.
And then you've got Yamal, who's 19. Nico Williams is 24. Eric Garcia's 25.
Yeah.
And then there's people in the team who didn't even play, like Gavi. And Pedri's 23, you know?
Yeah.
Marc Pubil is 23. Like, there's so many good young players in this team.
Oh, it's amazing. They're going to be a force for a while, right? Like, they're a really good team. It could be interesting whether Yamal can be the one to catch Mbappe or not. Because Mbappe, who knows how many he's going to score, because he's got another, 2? Yeah.
Mbappe is only 25.
26, isn't he? So maybe 2 more, maybe 3 more World Cups at the outstretch. But 2 where he's at high value, right? So who knows how many he's going to score.
Mbappe is like Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of how well he looks after himself and how much he trains and takes care, right? Like, so Mbappe, I can completely see playing to his 40s like Ronaldo is. Like, and heck, I think if Mbappe is close to reaching 1,000 goals at that point, and he could be, he's that good.
Yeah.
He could very easily get to 1,000 goals in his career, and he could be playing into his 40s. And I would not be surprised. He could be the first player to get a half century of goals at the World Cup. The tournament's only getting bigger, more games.
Yeah. My wondering was, say, as it gets bigger, whether Haaland would be. I know they're both about the same age, so Haaland's starting from a long way back. But the goal-scoring machine that he is, whether he can catch. I mean, we'll get close.
14-goal head start is a bit of a head start.
That is a big head start. But Haaland scores so many.
Mbappe is Mr. France. He's the captain. Everything. Yeah. And I think with Zidane taking over this team, I can see them. I'm like, we're not expecting France to not be good anytime soon, right? Exactly. Like, they're also an equally young team, young players.
I know, they're good for a while.
Team, this is the ridiculousness of the Spain team, right? They take Rodri off in the 66th minute, which even I was like, whoa, how are you... Oh, wait, Martin Zubimendi, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how we were talking about Spain?
Yeah, exactly.
And David Raya's just on the bench. I believe still the best keeper probably in the world right now.
Yeah. Which I can't argue with you on that. It's a very fair statement.
And it's just this thing, this Spain team, until Cucurella signed for Real Madrid, had no Real Madrid players in the squad.
That is crazy, actually. You're right.
So this is a real Barcelona victory. Like, almost so many players from this team have come through Barcelona's academy, including people like Rodri.
Yeah.
And Ruiz and Pedro Porro, and then you've got your other players. Like, it's crazy how good the Spain team is, and like, it will take a lot for them to not win the Euros in 2028. And to be fair, they could go and win the World Cup in 2030 as well.
Oh, I think they're already favorites. And I wouldn't
just
be
because
surprised
this team are so young, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not going to be surprised if that is true, because they're so good and they're so young. It's going to be basically the same team come 2030, and they're only going to be better. So it's crazy to think about.
And in these 4 years, there's absolutely no telling whether they'll find another superstar.
Yeah.
Like, there's already supposedly Rodri's replacement, and I can't remember his name, Marco, who's supposedly from the Barca team, who's just going to be just, rinse replace for Rodri.
All right.
In this team, which is crazy. And then it's just, Spain can just get another technical player like David Olmo, credible player, right? And the thing is, they play this is the closest a team is to having that club atmosphere. They play like a club team, right? They can actually have a philosophy and decide how they're going to set themselves up, and what the overriding strategy and tactic of their team will be. Spain is old school, right? It's systems football. It's not about transitions. It's not about physicality and outlasting. We just play the system. We trust the process. Even after losing to Cabo Verde, not losing, but drawing to Cabo Verde in the first game, and they were like, Yep, trust the process. We didn't score, but, Cabo Verde, I think they were the only people at that point who were like, oh, but Cabo Verde are going to surprise people.
Yeah. But I guess they got to see it firsthand, right? They ran into it first and were like, ooh, actually, that's going to be tough. So.
Because, they got their 3 points fair and square, drew 0-0 to Saudi Arabia, 0-0 to Spain, and drew 2-2 to Uruguay and kicked them out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And like I said, barest of margins losing to Argentina, a really good performance from them. And we're here, this is the scary thing for Spain, but also they're hosting that next World Cup, so they have to be favored. They've qualified officially.
Yeah.
Already, Portugal, Morocco are qualified, as are Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
Yeah.
Now, we did have a bit of a discussion before about this. The head of CONMEBOL has unilaterally announced that the next World Cup will have 64 teams. And now, been hearing about this. The Athletic, I will shout them out. They've actually done a podcast about whether the next tournament will be expanded to 64 teams, and their discussion came around, they have their sources in FIFA who they talk to and who come out, reach out to them, and basically the FIFA team were basically going like, look, it's not a question of stadiums. Even if Paraguay might have a hard time hosting a group stage in their in the country to find all the stadiums, and even if, to be fair, I don't understand why that would be the case, given Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile, and Argentina combined put in a bid for hosting the whole World Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Countries very easily have hosted it. And done it reasonably easily. 32 teams. Heck, Brazil hosted 32 teams on its own. Half the teams have a camp in the southern part of Brazil, which is the part where most of these camps are located. That would probably be enough, right? Like, they're more than enough. You would just need to set up some sort of visa-free travel. And I think there's already visa-free travel between Argentina, Uruguay, Brazil, and Paraguay. So, like, probably. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like there's some very, there's, like, very easy to travel between those 4 countries anyway.
One would imagine so. But
and Brazil would sort of act like a pseudo-host at that point, right?
Yeah. Host training, but don't host games.
Yeah. So now, if Argentina, if FIFA want to expand it to 64 teams, their big thing is that they don't believe an entire group stage, which would mean all 64 teams, which is what CONMEBOL want, would have to be hosted in South America for at least 2 weeks.
At least.
Or 1.5 weeks.
Yeah.
So, one group stage is... Okay, so not 2 weeks, 1 week. 1 week, give or take, with
for
64 teams,
round,
even with 3 games a day, or say there's 4 games a day, all 64, 32 games, that's 8 days, right? So it's 8 a week, more than a week.
Yeah.
That's assuming 4 games a day, which I'm like, 4 games a day, right?
Yeah. Yum.
It's yummy, but I'm also like, how's this viable, right? How is this going to work?
Yeah,
I love the time zone for it. Yeah. Us New Zealanders love the time zone.
Exactly.
It's great for us.
It's the early games will be slightly too early though, right? They'll be even earlier in the morning. Well, like Argentina and...
Yeah, I wake up for NFL games, it's fine.
Yeah, fair.
And so, okay, and then you're moving from like a Winter World Cup, as opposed to 3 matches, you're moving to an entire Winter World Cup, to a full Summer World Cup in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco.
Yeah. There's that point as well, yeah. Like, you're completely changing the climate.
Like, officially, if it's only 1 game... And, like, I understand why it's a pain for it to only be 1 game, right? Like, maybe all the hosts could have hosted their group games.
Yeah.
Maybe you could have done that, because then each team would just fly out. I mean, it sucked for the teams that are in the same group as the hosts, but, I guess it's a once in 100-year thing.
Like, and this because you host all, like, those 3 groups are hosted in those countries. And all the group games for the first group stage are there, and then they all fly, the winners, or the ones going through to the knockouts fly out, right? And everybody else goes home. So and they get
given some extra time to acclimatize, and it's a rough call for all those teams, right?
Yeah.
You just bring over 1 team for 1 game is one thing.
Yeah. A little bit more easier logistically, right? So. And you just around the whole timing of the games and the seasons.
And if you did it for every team, and if it was logistically viable for these South American countries to host, training facilities and everything for a whole thing, you're like, okay, so, and then it might be fair, because then they are moving, everybody's dealing with the change in acclimatization, not just the teams that play these South American host countries. And also, like, I understand why CONMEBOL has their objections, because it's like, okay, but they didn't really get to host it, and also their portion of the, like, you know, their home teams, quote unquote home teams, are not going to feel like a home World Cup. They're not going to get that home advantage, right?
Yeah.
So even if FIFA decided to host all the intercontinental qualifiers in South America, which they should in this situation, given they are not getting any games other than opening, I'm like, that's not going to be their host teams, right? They're not going to get to watch their teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Their fans would only get to cheer at home for their teams once in the tournament.
Yeah.
And then, you know, those who are lucky enough to be able to would be flying to Spain, Portugal, or Morocco for the rest of the tournament. So I understand doing it, letting them host all their home group games.
Yeah.
Like, I would potentially concede that to the CONMEBOL teams, but I don't know about hosting a whole group stage or even the entire group, because once again, you're kind of penalizing all those teams in those groups.
Yeah. You make good sense on that. So.
And if they have to play one game and fly out, it's you know, like, even if they play their home game in Spain, first game in Spain, fly out to Argentina, fly back, or fly their home game in, get their last game in Paraguay, and then they fly back to Portugal or Morocco. You know, they're gonna make sure that they have that team who has to fly back. Whoever has to fly, whichever team has to fly back at the end will get, if they get through, will get the, you know, later game, so they have a few more extra days to acclimatize. You can sort of mess around with the scheduling to.
Well, you're gonna have to mess around with the scheduling to fit 64 team. Tournament.
I mean, it is cleaner. It's only 2 teams per group.
Yeah.
It is only, like I said, it's only 64 teams. It would be like only 2 teams per group. Somehow Italy would still fail to qualify.
Yeah, 100%.
No, because let's be honest here, those 64 extra those extra 16 teams coming in, at most you're gonna have 2 extra spots for UEFA.
Yeah.
If that,
yeah. That's what Infantino is talking about mostly, right? He's talking about, you know, making sure that if it's 64, it's very much a wider group. But he says, it's not just Europe and South America, but the entire world. So when they add the extra in, they're going to go to Asia and North America and Africa, right? And maybe to Oceania, but yeah.
Yeah, but let's be fair as well. Like, you can't expand CONMEBOL. Like, it would make the tournament, the qualification tournament, pointless.
Like just all of them. Just like expand it. Might as well have all of them then.
If 9 teams from CONMEBOL, like, even if they expanded by, like, because now they have, like, what, 8? In the 48 team tournament, like, or 7 and a third?
7 and a third, I think it was.
Out of 12, right? Even if they expanded it to 8 and a third, that's so many.
You might as well just make it all of them. They all just qualify.
At that point, yes. And, like, somehow Venezuela will still fail to qualify. And CONCACAF, how many countries can you realistically expand CONCACAF by? And, I mean, sure, Curacao, I'm not going to cast stones, right? Like, Haiti did a good performance, so did Curacao. But this world, in future, the next tournament, however it is, CONMEBOL will have USA, Mexico, and Canada in the qualifying, so there's going to be 3 top teams back in the running. even with this expanded tournament and those three not playing, Costa Rica didn't make it this time. So maybe CONCACAF, is deeper than I thought. So I'll probably not cast aspersions there, but also like there's some really like there's some really small teams. Oceania does not deserve more than 1.5 spots.
No.
At the World Cup. 2 is generous.
2 is very generous. So I mean, maybe one more half for us. I doubt it. I would assume it stays at 1.5 because that seems at least because they take away all the
Asia and Africa. Absolutely fair enough.
Yeah. That's where most of it's going, right? You would think.
Yeah.
Especially Asia. Like I can imagine Asia actually gets a large chunk of it.
Well, like, if we believe the UN demographic models, like, Asia and Africa are going to be the 2 biggest, especially East Asia, like that thing around India, Southeast Asia, China, that time zone, and Africa, which is effectively 1 or 2 time zones, right? Like, it's the European time zone as well, are going to be the 2 most populated, they're the 2 most important for world events to go kind of coincide well.
Yeah, 100%.
And Africa's just gonna get more and more. Like already there's 1 billion people on that continent, and there's gonna be at least, I believe, demographic studies say 2 billion by the end of 2050.
Wow, that's crazy, but seems about right.
Yeah, and like I don't know how well it will persuade. Like, and I think that 2 billion mark is in the conservative end. Like maybe so. I know that 2050 is only like 25 years from now.
Yeah, not that far away.
But then again, it could completely not go that way.
Yeah.
We don't need to get into demographic studies.
That's what people come to the sports podcast for, right? That's what people come to the sports podcast for, right? Demographic studies, deep dives.
Deep dives into stuff Imran's been deep diving into. But all that aside, like, it seems really unviable for a 64-team World Cup in this transoceanic World Cup in the next World Cup. It's really difficult. Like, I think FIFA genuinely want to give this 48-team version time to breathe.
Yeah.
They're not going to give it for only one tournament and let it go. They will probably... I think what will end up happening is CONMEBOL will get a thing of, like, it's still 48 teams. You get to host all your home games in the group stage.
So Infantino, he's been talking up the 64-team concept as well, so...
He's publicly been saying we'll talk about it, but he's up for election this year, so after he probably gets elected, he'll be like, look, the committee decided. No, I was up for it.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you say about Gianni Infantino, he is a consummate politician.
Yeah. No, 100%. So you're right, and possibly, therefore it will get kicked down to the 2034, maybe Saudi Arabia gets the 64 team. As you say, they can just...
Look, UEFA have already said...
training ones, so...
Basically, UEFA have already said no, fuck off, but they always say that to anything FIFA suggests, so that's not...
Just
CONCACAF have said no, fuck off, and which I think kills it.
Yeah.
And CAF said, maybe, and AFC went, maybe. And CONMEBOL's like, yes, let's do this. And they're like, okay. There's two of them have gone absolutely not, and 2 others have gone, who's going to bribe us? You know?
Yeah. We could be convinced. Where's the money?
Oceania will do whatever Gianni Infantino tells them to. This is what... Oceania is like, we're the good boys. We listen to teacher. Yeah. Teacher, have we been good? And teacher's like, you've been very good. Good boy. Host another World Cup. Yay! Woo. Thank you, teacher.
Here, it's open.
Now, speaking of future World Cups, I think at least the next two World Cups are going to be 48 teams. I don't think Saudi Arabia, as much as you and I joked about it before the thing, of like, Saudi Arabia could easily host a 64-team tournament. They would just build all the stadiums and, like, throw them away the next day.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. And, like, sure, I don't think the training facility issues is a big thing for Saudi Arabia. Genuinely, because I think they could just build a city with, like, this is our sports city. It's got a bunch of training facilities. You can all go and train, you know?
Yeah, exactly. They would do that. So.
We will build maybe 4 of them around already cities that already exist in Saudi Arabia, and then you can all go there, and, like, these will become places where, like, it becomes like our grassroots football academy programs go there, you know, after the World Cup, you know, or something like that. Who knows? But it's viable, at least, and they have the money for it, which is like. The thing. So 2034, while doable, 64, I don't think they will. I think Saudi Arabia will be like, oh, we talked a big game. We said we could do it, but yeah, you guys voted against it. You know, like, play the politics, because, you know, and then they'll host a 48-team World Cup, and I think they'll do it just fine. And then we will have the next tournament, which is yet to be decided, and there's already a big campaign from the spin-off to get a tournament hosted by Australia, Indonesia, and New Zealand. Yeah. Let me just put this out there. As much as I would love for that to happen, that's not going to happen, because Asia are not going to get back-to-back World Cups. That's just not going to happen.
Well, they pretty much can't, so...
Like, whoever is allowed to host in 2038, Asia is not going to be one of them.
Well, theoretically, according to the rules, it can only be Oceania or North America, right?
CONCACAF and OFC are the only ones who will be...
CAF as well, sorry, in Africa.
No, CAF hosted 2030.
Oh, no,
Morocco.
Yes, no, Morocco counts. I knew they'd done that. So, yeah, it would be, North America and us.
That's the only country that could have opposed Saudi Arabia's bid in 2034 was New Zealand.
Yeah.
But, you know, New Zealand will always listen to what Uncle Gianni tells them to do.
Yeah. I mean, the 2034 one was one where potential Australia, New Zealand, and then, say, Indonesia or whatever would make sense.
Yeah, that was the tournament to do. That could have been that. Absolutely.
It's a pity that was like a nobody told anybody about the voting opening until after the voting had closed, or after the proposal time had closed. So.
Yeah, and looking aside from that, what has been coming down the grapevine is 2038 will be another U.S. World Cup, but similar to how the tournament was hosted across continents in is scheduled to be hosted in 2030. It will be hosted transoceanic tournament again with New Zealand, Fiji, and the United States.
That would be amazing.
This would effectively give Oceania, I think, just a single 1/3 spot to qualify. Because this is going to be a 48-team tournament. This can't be a 64-team tournament either. If this were to get through, I think the United States on its own could host a 64-team tournament.
Yeah. Maybe.
But I think if they're going to do all this to put it in, I don't. And before I put it out there, like, New Zealand are not going to host a semi-final or a knockout game, Ethan. I think they would probably just host a group, host group games.
I think Eden Park could host, depending. I know they looked into this with the under the current rules of it and looking at stadiums, and so Eden Park I think is just big enough, or just has the right facilities to host. On the current rule set, I think around a 16, it would just fit in.
Yeah.
Maybe with the assuming we could still put it in the temporary stands that they had for the 2010 Rugby World Cup Final. No, 2012. Sorry, Rugby World Cup Final.
2011.
One of those years. 2011 World Cup Final. Went round both sides.
You were there, man.
I was there, man. I was there. Assuming the extra stand, they can fit the temporary stands in again, which seems no reason why I can't. Then we could host a round of 16 at Eden Park under the current rules that they set for the current tournament. Whether that would change by 2038, who knows? But so theoretically, a knockout game or two could potentially be in New Zealand, but only in Eden Park. Like group games, Cake Tin, and in Christchurch as well, and that's about it. And that's because there was serious increase in stadiums, and then this probably the bigger issue is just accommodation, number of beds for visitors needs to be a certain size as well, and I think that might round of 16 games I think needs slightly more, and that might be the problem. But
yeah, I think Christchurch Stadium could be expanded to 40, right? Pretty decently caked. And I think also that stadium could be supported in Christchurch, right? It's going to host Crusaders game. It could potentially host an NRL team. It could... it'll be hosting South Island United games. You know, it's all there to play for. And then we've got the Wellington Stadium. Cake Tin can definitely support a 40k stadium. You know, it won't go to waste. It's got Phoenix games. It's got Hurricanes games. It's got. It'll be hosting probably both a South Island rugby league team games and New Zealand Warriors games. You know,
and all three would become the default All Blacks stadiums as well, right? They basically wouldn't move anywhere else. They'll just run them through that one each. South Africa, an Australian, and then whatever the Northern Hemisphere team that comes down, France or Ireland or England would go into. That would be the ones that would go into that each time. And plus you've got the Black Caps, right? So just make sure you get India or Australia or England over each year and host them in one of those. There you go. Put some one-dayers in there, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and like these stadiums also host concerts and etc.
Exactly.
Like in a city like Christchurch and Wellington, especially Wellington already can host. They're in the middle of the city. They can host concerts. It's not like Eden Park where it. I don't live in Eden Road. I understand why they are well within their rights to complain that we didn't have concerts before. Now you've put concerts on here. I understand.
There's several places in Auckland, not the deep dive into Auckland residential complaints. But there's several places in Auckland where residents have moved into areas that were noisy for whatever reason and then complained about the noise, i.e. Western Springs, where it's not justified. But at least in the case of Eden Park, it's the Eden Park's there been forever. But the residents have probably been there longest, so...
And, Eden Park hasn't hosted concerts, right? The residents complaining about lights also, it didn't used to have lights. No, exactly. Understandable.
And
but they don't complain about daytime games.
Yeah.
They don't complain about daytime games. They make bank when there's a cricket game on in the daytime. Because they rent out their front lawn for parking, all this other stuff. So people call them, NIMBYs and grumpy neighbors. I'm to an extent, it is true, but also it's not fair to tarnish them with that. As much as you and I have done that,
exactly.
We've been guilty of this.
Yes, but that's because games and concerts there are so much fun. Well, they can be. Yeah. But it's exactly it's. Whilst you might sit there and go, just come on. At the same time, you're you also have good points. You at least have good points. This say. Western Springs residents, shame on them for everything that happened in the speedway having to move. Just shame. But, not Eden residents, they could loosen up a bit, but at the same time,
Speedway crowd are so good. Unlike cricket crowd or rugby crowd or concert crowd, and, Speedway crowd, they're chill.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
it's noisy. 100%, it's the noisiest one.
Yeah, yeah. Super noisy, but
Yeah. But they've been there forever.
yeah, they have literally been there longer than the residents. So
Yeah. This used to be the middle of nowhere, and like if we're gonna, okay, without getting too far into it, like Auckland is gonna be hosted at Eden Park. We don't have, unless the government goes for the World Cup, we will build a stadium in downtown finally, which is what we always should have done.
yeah,
Just because that's future-proof in every way, and like a downtown stadium in Auckland with Eden Park hosting daytime games, like the occasional blues games, blah blah blah, or Eden Park being turned into a museum
yeah.
for New Zealand Sports Hall of Fame or something like that, hosted over there. It's already pseudo an Auckland Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I mean, you could still keep games there, right? You could host a single All Blacks game. Yeah, All Blacks Australia, All Blacks South Africa there each year, and you can,
Oh no, the All Blacks have to play there because if only other reason they're not beatable over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's that. They've got to play. They can't leave until the win streak's broken, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably why New Zealand Rugby didn't want the stadium in the waterfront, right?
Yeah.
And it's the thing. So it'll be at Eden Park. The government will push for another stadium, and New Zealand football might take it. It was up to New Zealand Rugby whether they wanted to take it, but New Zealand football could go if the Warriors and us, Auckland FC and the All Whites play here. That's viable. Rugby can stay in Eden Park if they want.
Yeah.
And we'll get the occasional, we can decide where T20 games are played. If this is a full rectangular stadium, T20s and cricket stay at Eden Park. Bob's your uncle, everything's sorted.
Yeah.
Like, Auckland is a big enough city to support two 40K stadiums, believe it or not.
Yeah, cool. I mean, that is
right?
the thing,
It's
right?
2 million people. There are more cities with smaller populations that happily support two 40K stadiums.
Exactly.
Like, we legitimately have to think about it for Wellington and Christchurch, because Christchurch has, 500,000, if that?
If that, yeah.
And Wellington has about 600,000, right?
Yeah, something like that. 700 maybe?
So a 40K stadium is close to 10% of the population in those cities.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, it's not even 5% for Auckland.
Exactly. It's getting to 3, maybe even 2% of it.
Yeah, so it's very viable. Both stadiums are very close. You could host festivals you could commute between the two stadiums if there was one in Waterfront, one in Eden Park.
Yeah.
Very, it would be a very viable setup. But either way, New Zealand could host World Cup games with the United States.
Yeah.
And it works. I fly to the United States pretty regularly. If the teams that play on from New Zealand play their next games on the West Coast in San Francisco, LA, it's a 12-hour flight. Even Houston is only a 14-hour flight. New York is a 16-hour flight. Okay. Which is, okay. That's a big flight. But even then, my daughter does it in her sleep. Literally. She eats a flight like that for dinner, not for breakfast. She eats the 12-hour flight for breakfast.
Yeah.
But it's very doable. But you can do. You can figure out a schedule that makes that work. And Fiji's closer even. And you'd have games hosted in places like Hawaii in a World Cup like this. Because you're trying to make it a Pacific World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. So it would make some sense.
And there's no reason why you couldn't have Canada, Mexico, USA, and just try and fit it mostly in the west coast of all three countries. Just, spitballing ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, LA more than capable of hosting a World Cup final, right? Like the stadium at Inglewood, which is the home of the Rams and the Chargers, absolutely. Inglewood Stadium could easily host a World Cup game, a World Cup final. It is that level of stadium, and there's also really good other good stadiums in LA. You could have more than one stadium in the city for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's a very viable bid. It's the only one I can see where I go it makes sense. It doesn't break any existing rules.
Yeah, exactly.
And FIFA very happily can say, look, we are growing the game. We are giving games to Oceania. I don't know how viable the Fiji part of this is. Somebody who's more knowledgeable about Fiji will have to comment on this.
They don't have the stadium at the moment, right? So that would have to be built.
And a 40K stadium in Fiji is Fiji has 1 million people, roughly.
Yeah.
But I'm also Fiji is multiple islands. How does this work? I'm not an expert on Fiji geography. What is this? It would be in Suva, I'm assuming, and or Ba, and I'm okay, it's on that island, and it's how's it gonna work? It's easy for us, us sitting in New Zealand to go oh yeah, just put a stadium there, blah, blah, blah. And you and I were talking about, good 20K stadium for Suva could be good.
Yeah.
And we're that's a perfectly viable, that would be a justifiable stadium.
And I think 20,000's okay for a group game in a World Cup. So.
Minimum 40K for World 40K? Cup game.
Oh, I thought they had it slightly lower, the group ones.
So even in New Zealand, Wellington and Christchurch would have to up their... if Fiji wasn't going to be there, it would be... Maybe you would have a game in Hamilton. If you were going to host all the group games in New Zealand's group in New Zealand, for example.
Yeah.
But probably what they will just do is say, if they do as I predict, give all the host CONMEBOL countries in 2030, you host all your home games, and that's it. The New Zealand one, they'll just go, okay, you host all your home games, and you will get Auckland, opening ceremony in Auckland, Wellington, and then Christchurch.
Yeah.
And we're look, we hosted 3 World Cup games. That's more than I ever thought we'd ever have.
Yeah. That would be really awesome.
So I think that's the spin-off. They need to push it the right thing. They've got their heart in the right place, but this is the viable plan. Yeah, and also FIFA gets to have a World Cup in the USA again, which is what they want.
That's exactly what they want.
Sure, the time zones are gonna be ridiculous, but it's only 3 games.
The problem
and then we're out of here.
Yeah. Problem is you confuse them a little bit with being a different day.
Yeah. And that's basically what the our predictions are for the next few World Cups.
Yeah.
And by 2038, Spain... I'm just looking at this and thinking, that is 12 years from now, Lamine Yamal will only be 31 years old.
Yeah.
So peaking as a player.
That's scary to think about.
And on that note, I think that's all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for listening, and we look forward to hearing from you next time.
Catch you next time.
Well, that is the end. Thanks for listening all the way through.
If you liked what you heard, we have even more. NineSixFourTwo Discord and a Buy Me a Coffee.
Pretty sure it's Buy Me a Beer.
Oh yeah, buy me a beer on buymeacoffee.com.
In both these places, you can talk to us, and we may even listen, especially if you do buy a said beer or coffee. I might still be confused.
Yes, we're easily bribed. All links are in the show notes below.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
This is on YouTube.